All right. Damn it. I pushed the wrong button and I ended that last one. So I'm hoping that you all get back on. Damn it. That's not very nice. I cannot believe that I pushed the wrong button. That was just dumb. It was just absolutely dumb. But we're going to try it again here. I'm going to try it again. See if we can get back on track. I love it. See, and that's the really cool thing about, you know, doing this daily, is that it's like, no worries, no worries, no problem. All right, somebody jump back on. Oh man, I pushed the wrong button. Yeah, awesome. So come on back in. Come on back in. I, it's this big red button, right, that says stop broadcast. And before I knew it, before it even processed in my head, I was like, shit. And so yeah, there's a first time for everything. So I love it. Tom, I'm glad you jump back on. I appreciate it. Thanks for your patience. I mean, I'm on a learning curve on this, and I'm still sort of low. So yeah, mental note: push the right buttons. Thanks, Bob Dog, for coming back. I appreciate it. I pushed the stop button on the stupid thing instead of sharing my screen. It's just dumb things that I do. It's we can make as this goes on, maybe I'll make an archive of all the stupid shit that I do. So yeah. Anyway, where I was going to share my screen to show you a website that will allow you to, will show you all the satellites that are going overhead. So let me get into that, and I'm going to share my screen. Share. Go to infinity. Okay. We're going to go back over here, and I'm going to go to archive. Okay, so the website's called heavens-above.com. So heavensabove.com with a hyphen in between heavens and above. Tom, I wish I had me personally, I wish I had a reset button. Wouldn't that be great? Man, I haven't found it yet, though. I don't even know if those exist. But yeah, anyway, so here's Heavens Above. And if you've never seen this site, I'll just sort of walk you through it. You can log in. You can set up an account and log in that way. And with an account, you're basically able to, just set your latitude and longitude and elevation, and have the site remember you. What you can also do, and what I'm going to do here, is I'm going to remain anonymous. You see up here. I hope you can see that up here. The font is a little small, but I'm going to go to location, and currently it says unspecified. So either Bob Dog or Tom, why don't you tell me approximately, you don't have to be specific, why don't you, one or both of you, let me know where you are in the world, maybe a city, or if you're in the United States, like a state. Don't have to be, specific or anything. I don't need an address. If you're interested in this site, you can specify that for yourself. I definitely have to respect your privacy. So Haines, Alaska. Haines, Alaska. Bob Dog is up in Haines, Alaska. Jeez. Let's see. I need to, how do I zoom in? Whoops. Screen's going to be funky for me too. Come on, screen. Yeah, there's a little plus sign there. So we can zoom in here a little bit and scooch it around. This is, as you can see, this is just Google Maps. And I'm still in the ocean here. I think I zoomed it in too much. Come on, come on. Usually never this hard. Okay, there we go. Oops. We keep okay. I will find that or not, Bob Dylan. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that easily or not, but I'm going to try, I guess. All right, so where, Haines, Alaska. Well, let's do it anyway. That might be interesting. That's pretty high latitude. So, is there a way that I can? I think there's a way here. Enter a place to search for. So Haines, Alaska. There's Haines. Is that the Haines we're talking about? All right, yeah, that is definitely that's definitely Alaska. Cool. Cool. Wow, so you're just north of Juneau. Okay, very cool. All right, so we're going to choose that. And as you can see down here, it gives you your latitude and longitude and elevation. You're, at least according to this, you are 11 meters above sea level. So yeah, very, very cool. All right, so let's just choose that, and we can go update back to the original page, and now you can see up here that it has your location, right? So then you can go over here, and there's a bunch of options for satellites, for astronomical things, and various other stuff. If you want to see all the visible satellites that are going to be going over your head, then you can just click on Daily Predictions for Brighter Satellites. And as you can see, these are all the satellites that are going to be going over your head. Now, let me just go through these columns. So obviously, this is the name of the satellite, and some of these are satellites, and some of these are what are called rocket bodies, and those are like the second stage or the third stage of of a rocket that is flung out there too. The satellite's on top of the rocket, but the stages also go into orbit. They usually decay after a number of weeks or months or years. Anyway, so it also gives you the brightness, which is the visual magnitude. So in astronomy, the magnitude scale is sort of backwards. The larger the number, the fainter it is. So this first one is magnitude 4.1. If you go down here, you can see USA 161 is magnitude 1.9. Well, that would be brighter than that one. So the human eye in a really, really dark sky can see down to about sixth magnitude. Sometimes a little bit more. I can see down to about 6.2 or so. But so this is when you'll first, well, this is the time, and this is local time. So this is your time, not universal time, but your time, when the satellite is 10 degrees above the horizon, your horizon. So at 4:30 this afternoon, this rocket body was at 10 degrees above the horizon. Now, which horizon? The horizon that is north-northwest. So that's almost due north, a little bit west of north, but not northwest. Its highest point occurred at 4:36:21 at an altitude of 81 degrees. So that's almost straight up. Straight up is 90 degrees. That's also called the zenith. So it was almost straight up in a direction that was east-northeast, and then it was at 10 degrees above the horizon at the end of its pass at 4:42. So let's look. It is now. Oh, what time is it in Alaska? It's I think it's GMT minus or UTC -9, right? Oh, I can go to the top and find that out. Yeah, UTC -9. So it is 3 hours UTC right now. So it's 6 p.m. where you are. So, Bob Dog, right now in your sky, okay, is the Coronis photon satellite. Pretty faint, pretty hard to see, and it's 6:01 right now, 18:01 24-hour time. So that's just popping up over your south-southwest horizon. At 8:04:43, it's going to be as high as it is in the sky at that height, and then you're going to see it until 6:08. So that's happening right now, but it's pretty faint, unless you're in a really, really, really dark site. You're probably not going to see that. But as you can see, all of these are visible in the next hour. So all of them. Let's look at this one again. Just because if you click on the time, it'll actually show you. It'll provide you a map of the path that this satellite is going to take through the sky. You can see here's the North Star, and this should be, if you went outside right now and looked to your north, you would see the Big Dipper really, really low on the northern horizon. You'd see the North Star over here. If you looked west, you would see Vega and and Deneb and Altair really, really, really low on the western horizon, just beginning to set. And Orion is down in the southeast, should be rising at this point. And you've got the moon sort of lowish in your south-southwest. So that's what's happening, Bob Dog, in your sky right now. We don't even have to go outside and look. But anyway, the path of that satellite is marked here, and the time is also here too. So right now it's 6:04 p.m. So that satellite is almost as high as it's going to get. Almost as high as it's going to get, and it's right there right now. Isn't that cool? I love this live stuff. I like to see people going, "Wow, that to me is an extremely high." So I don't need anything else, really. I don't need any extra help to really get me jazzed. So yeah, very, very cool. The other thing that this does, if you go to the top of the thing here, there's a thing called ground track. And what ground track is it's sort of what the satellite is seeing if it's looking down on the ground. Okay, so here it is again. Okay, it's now 8:05, or I'm sorry, 6:05. That satellite is right there. Okay, you're over here, so you know it's pretty far over, and it's moving up that way, right? It's almost a polar orbit, and yeah, that's happening right now. Isn't that cool? Is that cool or what? It also gives orbital information about the satellite, the parameters that might be of interest to somebody. So yeah, I'm glad you like that, Bob Dog. Now, Tom, you can do exactly the same thing. Just go up to the location, go to Google Maps, on the screen, click on your house if you want to, whatever, and you'll see exactly the same kind of thing. Of course, the satellites are going to be different. The times are different depending on where you are on the planet. Back to the main menu, which is this one. The other interesting one is that they have just predictions for some of the more interesting satellites going overhead, and of course the top of that list is the International Space Station. Right. So for Bob Dog, this is for you, man. Now the inclination of the International Space Station, I believe, is like 57 degrees, and we can check that once we get into this a little bit. And in fact, Bob Dog and Tom, look, it shows the local time right there, and it's ticking off the seconds. You can see it. At least I can. I don't know if you can see that on the screen or not. You probably can, I guess. Anyway, so let's click on ISS. So this is just for the next 10 days. So starting on the 22nd of January and going to the 1st of February. Okay, the inclination of the ISS is 51.6 degrees. So for that period of time, these are the bright passes that the ISS is going to make. And you can see that the highest points are still pretty low. Pretty low. 19 degrees high. Whew, that's pretty low, right? But the saving factor here is that it's so bright. This is about as bright as Jupiter. So if you get up in the morning and you look up, well, I guess in Alaska it'd be a little bit more down. Since I'm in Arizona, everything's up. But look to your south, and you'll see a pretty bright star. Well, that's not a star. That is Jupiter, and so that's about as bright as the ISS is going to appear on the 31st of January at 6:39:46. So, but what you can do, right, is you can use these little backwards and forwards things to go backward and forward in time. So let's look at the next 10 days and see if there's some brighter apparitions. Now, there are a lot more apparitions, but what we're looking for is a high one. So 16, 19, 21, blah, 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 blah. You know, because the inclination of the ISS is below your latitude, you're never going to have, you know, the ISS pass overhead. So it's sort of looking like maybe 22, 23 degrees is about as high in the sky as you're going to see it. But that's good enough. That's good enough. And you've got some nice bright passes there over the next couple of weeks. So, hey, impress your friends, right? You know, look this up and you know, look up the next time that the space station is going to be in your sky, and you know, tell your friends, you know, go out at 6:30. Well, 6:28, and you don't want to do 6:30 because that's almost mid past. But you know, starting, you know, maybe at 6:25, from 6:25 to 6:35. Okay, go outside and look south, look southwest, and at the appointed time, at 6:28:35, you should see it, and it'll take a few minutes, you know, to get due south, and then it'll take another minute or so to fade. Now, as you can see, this says 19 degrees is the end, as opposed to 10. What that means is that the ISS is going into the shadow of the Earth, and so you're not going to see a full pass across the thing. And, you know, we can do exactly the same thing. We can look at the path in the sky. If you click on the date, boink, there's a path in the sky. And again, you know, here's the Big Dipper, here's the North Star, here's Orion, and this starts at 6:27, 6:28, 6:29, 6:30, 6:31, 6:32, and then it vanishes. So this is actually going to be kind of this would be really cool to show your friends, okay? Because look where it goes into the shadow of the Earth. It goes in the shadow of the Earth right as it's approaching Rigel, that big bright blue star in the constellation of Orion, and it'll be as if, you know, Rigel just SS. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting apparition. So that's happening on February 2nd. Is that right? Is that 2nd? Groundhog Day. Hey, that's actually one of my favorite days of the year. Yeah, I love Groundhog Day. That's definitely a high point in my year. So that looks like an interesting pass, and it's going to vanish right into Rigel. So yeah, very cool. So yeah, this is a great resource, and yeah, I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of action, and these things are happening all the time, And let me just go back to the main page. There's also this constellation of satellites. I think they are GPS satellites. They're called the Iridium satellites, and they have these huge solar panels on them. So, given the right configuration of the sun and the satellite and you can actually get this really bright reflection off of the panels, and so they're called the iridium flares, and they have predictions for those too. Now these can get really bright. So here's a negative 3.9, and again, Bob Dog, this is for your location, and these are your times. So let's see, this one, dude, this bright one here is happening in like 7 minutes, 6 minutes. So grab that info, okay? It's going to be towards the southeast, so almost due south, just a little bit east of south, 40 degrees above the horizon, and I think that you might be impressed, because that's going to be a nice bright one too. And as I said, I mean, it's happening in like 6 minutes. So if you can, go out and take a look, because those are pretty cool to actually see. And again, as I said, about the asteroid occultation stuff, it's something that's happening in the sky. It's you don't think that there's a lot of things happening, because it's sort of rare to randomly witness these events. You have to be looking at the right place at the right time. But here's a site that tells you exactly where and exactly when. So let's see, they're replacing the iridium sites with new ones that don't flare. Oh man, that's no fun. I mean, what are we going to do for entertainment? I don't know. Anyway, let me. I'm going to go back to the main page and see if there's any other interesting things. If you're into ham radio, okay, the ISS has a ham set, but there are also ham radio satellites, and you can use those, to communicate further. So that's very cool. And so, again, Bob Dog, for you, these are all the ham radio satellites that are going overhead tonight. And let's see, it's 6:17. So 6:17 right now. It's sort of looking like Seeds is going to be going over pretty soon, right? So very cool. And the same thing, you click on this and you get, sort of orbital information about that. I guess they don't have a track of any sort on that. Anyway, it's a very cool site. I recommend you check it out for sure. Lots of other astronomical things here too. Sky charts and asteroids and planets and moons, and just the whole thing. The whole thing. All right. Well, is there anything else at all? That's more or less all that I wanted to bring up for tonight. Unless you guys have anything of interest, I want Bob Dog to run outside and look at that iridium flare in a few minutes. That's what I want. I am going to try to, as long as it's clear, I'm going to photograph a space station pass over me. It's happening in a couple days or so, and I'll make a little movie on it. The smartphone that I have can take up to 10-second long exposures, so I'll just I'll take a series of those. I think it's like I want to say it's like a 6 or 7 minute pass or so. So, a series of 10-second exposures. I'll get a bunch of images that way, and I'll put them into a little like a video of sorts, and I'll post it up on the website for everybody to view. And oh, it's cloudy. It's cloudy at Bob Dog's place. Damn it! Damn it! Hold on one second. I have a wailing kitty. Just 1 minute. There. All right. All right. All is good with the world now. So, oh dang, yeah, it's cloudy. Anyway, just keep your eyes on that, and these things are happening all the time. It's absolutely amazing how much action there is, as long as you know where and when to look. There's just tons of shit going on, and it's all very, very cool. And you can sort of approach this kind of thing at all levels. There are people, okay? There are organized groups of people who I don't know if they do nothing more than this, but what they do is they watch for satellites, and they keep track of all this stuff. So and they do so well at keeping track of which one's which and which one they saw last time, and all of this, that they can actually tell when there's a new satellite, and a new sort of unannounced satellite is pretty interesting, right? Because nobody's supposed to know it's there. So that's why I'm surprised. Sorry, I'm surprised that this Zuma fiasco has lasted as long as it has, because I would think that by now the satellite observers would have not only located Zuma, but also gotten some pretty good info on its orbit. They can also tell when satellites change their orbit. So yeah, it's extremely, extremely cool. And there are people who do this. All right, I think I'm going to exit this planet. I'm apologize for hitting the wrong button. That was just dumb. I don't know how or if the first part is going to be saved. It's just it's one of those things. So if it's lost, it's lost. Oh well. We move on. I'm not going to worry about it much. But yeah, we're going to meet up again tomorrow. same time, same place, 2 hours UTC. Get into more astronomical stuff. Bring your questions, bring your comments, bring some interesting stuff, whatever you want. You know, this is a circle of friends, and everyone is welcome, and I'm glad you came. But I'm going to let you go for now. So I will see you again in a little over 22.5 hours. Far out. All right. Thanks for coming in. Peace out. I'm going to hit the right button this time too. Watch. 3, 2, 1.